But first, a big development that could have a ripple effect for schools all across the state. ABC 15 confirming the Kyrene School District, the 12th largest district in our state, will require masks when students head back to class, not just for staff, but for students as well. ABC 15's Danielle Lerner has been tracking this policy. And Danielle, Kyrene actually released its plan last week, just a week ago, in fact, and now we're already seeing this change.
Yeah, Steve, that's right. I mean, this just goes to show how fluid these plans are and how quickly things can change. Steve, you were the one who first heard about this and kind of brought it to my attention, and we were able to confirm that this is happening. And this all goes back to this issue of social distancing at school and in classrooms. Several district reopening plans we've already seen pretty much all say that this is the most difficult, if not impossible, recommendation from the CDC and also from the state is enforcing this social distancing when you have large groups of kids. So Kyrene making the big step today of updating their reopening plans to say that masks must be worn in classrooms by all student and staff grades pre-K through 8th, when physical distancing is not possible. But they take that one step further and basically say, look, class sizes that are over 15, you can't physically distance, and so therefore you must wear masks in the classroom. And this is really the first district we've seen to actually mandate this. Some of the other districts, we also followed Madison School District, their reopening plan last week, and they mentioned that there may be some instances when students would be required to wear masks, things like getting on and off the bus, maybe in their passing periods when they were arriving to and from school, places where that physical distancing really gets tough. But Kyrene is the first to actually lay this out and say, yes, this is going to have to happen in our classrooms. And as you mentioned, Steve, just 1 week ago, last Tuesday, we brought that coverage in our 10 p.m. newscast, laying out Kyrene's initial reopening plans. But every district reopening plan that we've seen, and I'm sure that we're going to see, they come with a huge asterisk that all say these plans are fluid, they can change at any time. And again, this just shows how quickly that can happen.
And Kyrene signing that rising number of cases in its letter to parents today. Danielle, the face masks obviously are going to have an impact, a strong reaction, I'm sure, because nobody really wants to have these in the classroom, but it's really an impact beyond the classroom as well.
Yes, there are several implications and really several questions and issues that this raises. I know that there are likely many teachers out there who appreciate this move. In a recent survey of 11,000 teachers across the state, more than 50%, 52% said they were really concerned about their health and safety in returning to the classroom. So I'm sure there are some who will be applauding this move. But you also have to keep in mind, students with special needs and physical health issues. I've already had parents tweeting me and writing on my Facebook page of how are they going to do that with these students. Now, there are some exemptions laid out in Kyrene's plan specifically for that. But again, clearly a big concern for parents. And then also, some questions for teachers and how this classroom experience is going to look and feel. I've seen in some of the teacher groups, they're halfway joking about it, saying with pre-K and kindergarten and first graders and those real little ones, how are you going to teach them when you're spending a lot of your time trying to keep their masks on? Or, how are they going to develop their language when they can't see your mouth moving or your facial expressions? And so there's a lot of questions of how this will impact learning coming off of a school year that essentially ended several months early because kids were at home during the school closure. So that's going to be a big question. Also, looking ahead, what sort of impact does this have with other school districts? We all saw back when schools initially announced that they were closing, one school district did it. The Alhambra district was the first one to announce, and then slowly several other school districts followed suit. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see districts either updating their reopening plans or working this into their reopening plans as they roll those out closer to the end of July and early August. In fact, Mesa Public Schools is releasing their initial reopening plan on Thursday. Mesa has some of the most crowded campuses in the state, especially some of their high schools. They have more than 3,000 students in some cases. And so it'll be interesting to see if they work this in as well. And one more note, I know that some folks out there may be wondering, why can't we have a state mandate to make this happen? I did check in with the Department of Education today. As of now, they don't plan on updating the guidance that they released. earlier this month, and they basically said the Department of Education does not have the power to mandate mask wearing in schools. The governor does have that power, but so far we have not heard any mention of that.
Danielle, thanks so much. A lot of questions to be answered.
Well, nearly 700